Porsche GT3 Cup Challenge USA by Yokohama is a mix of young drivers, chargers, those looking to make a career in motorsport, maybe looking to carve out a bit of a reputation. Alongside them on the grid, drivers with a little more life experience, and those for whom motorsport is still very much a labour of love. The 2018 calendar has seen our competitors across the length and breadth of the North American continent. And for our finale, we're in Georgia at Road Atlanta. Almost time to fire up those glorious flat sixes and get this party started. Hello everybody, I'm John Hindorf. It's Motul Petit Le Mans weekend, which means there's a big and knowledgeable crowd on hand here at Road Atlanta. Just outside of Brazelton, about an hour and a half north of downtown Atlanta, Road Atlanta is 2.5 miles of track that has just about every corner. Commitment required at turn 1, balance through the S's, and then hard on the brakes, downhill to turn 10. The weather has been nearly perfect this weekend. A little bit of wind, but plenty of sunshine, and we've already had one race. Clean from the green flag as the field streamed through the uphill first corner, but it wasn't long before some of our drivers were getting themselves into trouble. Sebastian Carrazzo sticking his nose in where it wasn't wanted and going for a spin at turn 5. At the front of the field, the blue and white number 19 of Zachary Robichon took the lead for Maxwell Root. Jason Lee took a wild ride into the tyres hard at turn 6, bringing out a long yellow flag. We did go back to green, and Zachary Robichon continued his winning ways. Whilst in the Gold Cup category, the tribute livery to Dave Mirage and Champion was carried to the top step of the podium by Jonathan Siegelman. Let's hear from our Platinum winner.
You know, as the leader, you're always assuming you're going to get to pick the start, but in this case, the green flag was thrown maybe a bit early, or maybe I wasn't paying attention. So today, I'll definitely be looking at the flag stand just in case it goes out early, and after that, just push and try to get some good lap times in, and hopefully stay out front. Just literally 30 seconds ago, just jumped out of the P3 car, so got to change my shirt and then get back in the car.
The newer Gen 2 Cup cars form the Platinum class. You can spot them with the black mirrors and the black number panels on the doors. Yellow headlights, yellow mirrors, and yellow number panels for the Gold Cup cars. Flat 6 engine notes crackling through a still Georgia day as the competitors head out on to their formation lap, which means that coming up next is the final start of the season for the IMSA Porsche GT3 Cup Challenge USA by Yokohama. A whole season of competition has come down to the last race of the year in 2018 for the IMSA Porsche GT3 Cup Challenge USA by Yokohama competitors. Trying to get some heat into the Yokohama tyres. The lights are out on the Porsche safety car. Zachary Robichon on pole position with Roman DeAngelis alongside him. Then it's Estep and Imperato. More of those chargers behind them. Kolkman and Maxwell Root. Then it's Alan Metney and Michael Levitas. And our pole sitter in the Gold Cup, Jonathan Siegelman, looking to back up his win from yesterday. And talking of the Gold Cup, by the way, still championships to be decided. Remember, this time last year, we were doing arithmetic every lap because every single place gained or lost by the guys at the top of the standings had championship implications. It might well be that again this year. Jeremy Shaw is alongside me. We're looking to our right-hand side from the start-finish line in the tower. Here they come under the bridge for the last time this year. Side by side over the top of the hill. It's a beautiful looking start. The green flag is waving. Zachary Robichon gets on the power and heads down towards the green flag. He immediately eases over to his left-hand side, defending that pole position as they fan out behind him. Robichon holds on to the lead from pole position. We'll take you through the championship implications in just a moment. The Masters class still very much open for business as through goes Imperato on that number 7 car of Maxwell Root. So he's been shuffled back a little bit and already a problem. That's on the outside of turn 1, somewhere in that dust, and behind the barriers is an errant Porsche. It's Manella, yes, good spot. He started in 18th position ahead of Eduardo de Leon and Scott Wellham. And I'm not sure that car is coming back out of there without assistance, so we may have to neutralise this race. Oh, that's a shame, Jeremy.
Yeah, it was a good start by Max Root again from the 4th position on the grid. He was briefly challenging for second. Yes, it was Max Root, isn't it? Going
off at 7.
He made a great start there, trying to go around the outside turn 1. Briefly held second position, but Anthony Imperato had the inside line for the right-hander at turn 3, able to maintain that position in second place. Ahead of him, behind him now is Roman DeAngelis as the 4-course caution comes out.
The start to stand wrapped up on a chilly morning here at Road Atlanta. It will take the drivers a little more time to get their Yokohama tyres up to correct temperature and pressure, and maybe that is what caught out Michael Manella, who's in the gravel and in fact in the tyre wall at turn 1. What this does allow us to do, Jeremy, is bring everyone up to date with how the championships were standing coming in, because 2 of the 3 drivers' championships pretty much sorted out as we came in here.
That's exactly right. Trenton Estep for the overall championship for JDX Racing. He holds an insurmountable 27-point lead. All he had to do today is start the race, which he did from the 5th position in car number 3. He's got a handy lead then over Roman DeAngelis, who's pretty sure of 2nd place. He's about 20-odd points ahead of David Coltman in 3rd. Behind him in 4th position is Maxwell Root in car number 7, who has now slipped back to 7th place after challenging for 2nd place on the first corner. In the Masters category, Charlie Luck came into the weekend with a 6-point lead, but a dramatic day yesterday. 2 spins and then another off into the gravel cost him dearly. And what was a 6-point edge over Alan Metney is now a 5-point edge. 6-point edge is now a 6-point deficit coming in today. So it's Alan Metney who leads on 443 to the 437 of Charlie Luck. And then
so the 2 cars to look out for there, Jeremy, the 99 of Metney and the 45 of Charlie Luck.
Yeah, who started 3rd in this race in the Masters class.
And he stays in 3rd behind the safety car at the moment. As far as the gold category is concerned, with a few extra entries this weekend.
It has. It's the biggest field of the year for the Gold Cup class. Great to see. Victor Gomez, having started from the back of the field yesterday, worked his way up into a podium position. That clinches the championship for the Puerto Rican. Victor Gomez, the 4th in car number 25 for NGT Motorsports.
Now, early in the piece, 4th position, Maxwell Root just getting a little wide at turn 7, and that's how he's dropped down through the field. That is a really tough corner. It's important because it dictates how much pace you take onto the back straight, and therefore one of the fastest parts of the circuit, one of the longest straights. But the corner and the tarmac doesn't help you from the apex, from the centre of the corner outwards. The camber is against you. It moves away from the centre of the corner, and if you just are a little bit greedy, because it's a corner that sucks you in every time you go around there, you think, I could have gone around there faster, I could have been faster down that straight, maybe I could have overtaken the guy in front of me, until you find the Georgia Clay, which is very, very unforgiving, as has just been discovered by Maxwell Root, who lost a couple of places there and sits now behind David Coltman, the man in the 71 grey car from Park Place.
And I lied. Number 42, Bill Smith, they were able to get that car repaired again. So hats off to that top racing team. They got the Kung Fu Saloon car number 42 back out into the race after an incident yesterday.
That's the Tangerine Dream car.
Yes, it is. And he's actually made up a few positions on that opening lap as well. Good job.
The next generation of spectators are here at the circuit cheering on. I mean, a Porsche 911 in particular, Jeremy, just such an iconic shape, an instantly recognisable shape, whether you're 6 or 86, you could probably look at that and say, oh yeah, that's a Porsche, and it's a 911.
Isn't that right? But Zachary Robichaud, I mean, he's done only half of the season, but he's already led almost twice as many laps as anybody else this season. 130 coming into this weekend. I think he led 16 laps yesterday. He was led in the early stages by Maxwell Root, made the pass, beautiful pass coming down the hill into turn 10, and then controlled the race from there to take the win again, and he's out front again now. Michael Manella, that car that's been dragged out of the gravel there at turn 1, what a story he is. He made his debut with this championship at VIR, and if you see him, well, if you see him in the paddock, I'm not going to say walking around the paddock because he generally is on a scooter, he has no feet. He had a horrendous road crash quite a few years ago by his own mistake messing around with a Viper, and he lost his feet. I mean, nearly lost his life, obviously. Broke his neck, lost his feet. Just an amazing story. But he wanted to go racing. He's been doing some track day driving, and he drove very well at VIR. And unfortunately, he's got himself buried in the tyres here at Road Atlantis. This is a really difficult racetrack, particularly on cold tyres at the beginning of his stint. But a remarkable story of persistence and resilience is Michael Manella. That is the car. I believe that's the car, actually, that was used by Jake Edson last year. That's what he told me at VIR, even though the #1 car, Roman DeAngelis, carries the same colours and livery as Jake Edson used last year. But that's what Michael told me. But anyhow, he's out of this race, but he's certainly planning to be back for what he hopes is a full season in 2019, and we certainly hope that's the case for that little MCR team based in Florida.
Just under 33 minutes to go. We continue under full course yellow as the clean-up at turn 1 is still ongoing. Michael Manella's Porsche coming into contact with the tyres, and the incident that put him there involving Michael and one of the cars around him, it was Sebastian Carrazzo that was involved there, the number 27, being looked at by race control. And also the incident between Trenton Estep, check that, Roman DeAngelis, and Maxwell Root coming out of turn 7 on the first lap under review. That cost Max Root just a couple of places. And race control, whilst they've got a little time to have a good look at this under the full course yellow and making sure that there was nothing awry there in those 2 incidents that saw those Porsches off track. Slightly more serious for the Manella car, which won't take any further part, already on the back of the rollback. As the time continues to count down on a time-certain race, the clock's still running, and Zachary Robichon in behind the Porsche safety car as it is now, that very lovely bright red 911. How do you get a job as safety car driver here? My hand would be straight up for that, because if I did that, I bet we had a green, full green race and you'd never get out of the pit lane.
Plus, you wouldn't come in when they tell you to come.
No, absolutely not. I'd be good. The lights would go out, but I'd be out there and flat out, of course, absolutely.
Take the green flag.
Maybe that's why the telephone hasn't rung. just saying. So, in the just behind the leaders on turn 1 on lap 1 at turn 7, Max Root just going a little bit wide, but was he helped there is the question by Roman DeAngelis.
Yeah, hard to say. The angle we just saw there was hard to determine, because there were cars already coming out of the corner, so we didn't see what happened.
Correct.
On the entrance to the corner. That would have been the critical part of that video.
We need to do a little bit of forensic investigation at the back of Maxwell Root's car and the front of the #1.
Or even the side of the #7 car, because if there was side-by-side contact that pushed the #7 car wide at the exit of the right-hand, there certainly doesn't seem any appreciable damage on the what would be the right-hand side of car #7.
And the #1 is Roman DeAngelis, who's a couple of places further up, which is the white and green Porsche, now sitting in 3rd position. Is there damage on the front of that car? Where it normally goes first, if there's been a bit of front to rear damage, it's right around where the tow hook is, on the just to the right of centre, under about the E of Kelly Moss on that white car. If there's been a little bit of a dunch or a nudge there, that's the part of the front valance that tends to split. Couldn't see anything there. That doesn't mean there wasn't contact, of course. These guys are so, Jeremy, on the ragged edge of adhesion. Even the slightest little touch or even leaning on another car can break traction, because these guys aren't leaving anything spare, particularly in the early part of the race when the Yokohama tyres are still coming up to pressures and temperature.
I am the trusty co-pilot, the moving part that moves all 2,000 parts. I am the translator who interprets the road, the permission to take the scenic route, and a guide that gets you there safely. I'm not just any tire. I am a Yokohama.
The all-new IMSA app, whether at home or trackside. Get behind the scenes with team and driver access all the time. It's the ultimate in fan experience. Choose your favorite manufacturer and strap in for the ride. With live scoring data, radio commentary, and session results in real time, it's just like you're there in Winner's Circle. The all-new IMSA app. Download it today.
Well, the good news is that the lights are off on the Porsche safety car. Our excellent track services and safety team here at Road Atlanta have done their job, and as ever, here from the IMSA broadcast booth, we say thank you very much to all of our volunteer staffs at racetracks, not only around America, but around the world. The flaggers, the marshals, the officials, the people on the gate who wave us in and tell us where to park our cars in the morning, particularly at these big meetings like Petit Le Mans. We simply could not go motor racing without the investment in a very precious resource from all of those volunteers, their time. Doff of the cap to all who have made this race weekend possible. Stand by to go racing. Zachary Robichon has control of the field, and as he comes out of the 10A, 10B complex, he's on the power. The flat six roars, diving down the hill through the final corner. The green flag is in the air, and we're back racing with just under 28 minutes to go. And it's another copybook restart procedure from Zachary Robichon, who pulled out at the line half a second, and that'll be closer to a second, I'm sure, by the end of the first lap. Going through further back down the grid, Charlie Look was having a look at David Ducote there. That's not a class position, but it was for 10th overall, and Charlie trying to get on terms with Alan Metney and Michael Levitas in his battle to try and wrest back the Platinum Masters Championship lead, which he had coming in here before the race yesterday. Now he trails by half a dozen points.
Yeah, he does, and Metney's where he needs to be, out in front in the Masters class at the moment. Good restart there by Maxwell Ruti, car number 7. David Coltman in car number 71, forced to defend the inside line going down into turn 1. Absolutely legitimate. If Maxwell had been able to go around the outside, fair play to him. He wasn't, so they maintained their positions in the 5th and 6th places. 71 ahead of the 7.
Down the back straight, the unmistakable wheel of the flat six cracking the relatively early morning air here at Road Atlanta, just over 2.5 miles around this track, and barely a place to take a breath and look at the instruments. Maybe a little bit on the back straight if you're not being challenged, but you've got to be so careful. Number one, it's not absolutely straight. Number two, these cars do punch a big hole in the air, and that allows a little bit of slipstreaming, drafting here, and that's exactly what's going on down the front straight as Max Root is having a look at David Coltman. The dark grey car crests the brow behind the Hertz number 3, and right in behind that, the red car with the white car with the red front and the blue stripes down the side. That is a positional pass trying to be made by Max Root. He's been as high as 4th position after a good start in the race, but has dropped back to 6th after a little moment on the red Georgia clay on the exit of turn 7 on the first lap. Then a gap back to that beautiful livery on the 72. That's a throwback livery and is in honour of Dave Mirage of Champion Racing. That's the Champion Racing colours. I well remember those colours racing in the early years of the American Le Mans series in the late 1990s, and in fact that livery was raced by Bill Adam and his teammates to, I believe, a victory at Sebring. And the thing that was missing from the side of that car until just a couple of days ago, with Bill Adam, a formidable race car driver and one of my very favourite broadcast colleagues, next to Jeremy of course. Well, Bill is a massive Oakland Raiders fan, soon to be Las Vegas Raiders, and they didn't have the Raiders sticker on the side rear window. That was put right when Shea Adam, Bill's daughter, was given a couple of stickers, especially from Bill, to go on that car, and the team lapped that up So if you get a good look at the side of that number 72 car, you'll see on the rear quarter windows the distinctive silver and black of the Raiders. Lovely tribute to Dave Mirage, who died tragically in an accident earlier this year. What a stalwart of sports car racing in the US.
And Alan Ziegelman in that Gold Cup class leading car number 72. He got past Alan Metney at the restart, but as we saw while you were describing that fabulous look on that number 72 car, Alan Metney made the pass again for position coming back down the hill. That is for 7th position overall, and that gives Alan Metney once again a little bit of a breathing room over Michael Levitas in car number 36.
Charlie Luck is the man trying to get on terms, and he's having to battle. He's got by David DeCourty, so it's Mike Levitas that he is now sitting in behind. And, well, that's Kurt Fazekas. That's the 52 car. Okay. That's the 52 car, so my apologies. That's Victor Gomez a little bit further back down the field, in behind Kurt Fazekas, and that is for 3rd position in GT3 Gold. My apologies. Looking at the wrong part of the screen there. I'm so excited about this great racing. And that is an important pass to put our champion-elect in that blue, mostly blue car, on the podium on the final race of the season. As the Fazekas and 25 car of Victor Gomez are at it at turn 6 through 7 and already onto the back straight. A little bit of a dent on the front of Kurt Fazekas' car. That came about at the start yesterday when there was a bit of bumping and boring coming down to the start. It's not quite as aerodynamic as it might be. A little more bluff, shall we say, as Victor Gomez comes all the way to the left-hand side down the hill. I tell you what, Kurt Fazekas, last of the late breakers there, didn't alter his line, didn't feel the need to defend into the left-hander at the bottom of the hill. He just basically left the door open and said to Victor Gomez, all right, sir, if you think you're better than me on the middle pedal, you try it. And he wasn't. Slightly compromised on your braking when you come down the inside. You almost need to be right alongside as you're just coming over the brow. It's a little bit bumpier on the left-hand side of the track there, and of course you're making the corner, that first left-hander into the chicane at the bottom of the hill, you're making that left-hander a little tighter, so you can't take as much speed to the centre part, the apex of the corner. It looks like it's an easy pass. Trust me, in this form of racing, and Jeremy Shaw will attest to this, no form of racing is there an easy pass, and when all the cars are identical, it makes it even more difficult.
He does. Kurt Fazekas just defending that line a little bit into turn 6. Is that going to give Gomez an opportunity to get a better run through and then you're braking for 7? No, it's not. So he tucks in behind him once again.
And look behind them, the Kelly Moss racing car of Scott Wellham with the Welsh Dragon on the front end of that car. Very distinctive colour scheme there. Some fantastic liveries in the IMSA Porsche GT3 Cup Challenge USA by Yokohama. Not quite close enough to pick up the toe, but ahead. Here comes Gomez again, and he did get alongside almost at the brow of the hill. And as I predicted, if you can do that, you can force your way down the inside. And that's exactly what Victor Gomez did. That is a pass for position on the timing screen, and up to 3rd for Victor Gomez in the GT3 Gold Cup for the 991 Gen 1 cars, the earlier versions of these Cup machines. Zachary Robichon is in the Gen 2 car. A few detail changes on the outside, a little bit of different aero, more power from the flat 6 engine, a different interior too, including the hatch above the driver, just in case the emergency crews need to get access to them. That's come straight from the IMSA WeatherTech cars, the GT Le Mans cars that race at the Rolex 24 at Sebring and throughout the rest of the IMSA season. Right, the headlights have gone on now, and they're flashing from Roman DeAngelis, worth all of 15 to 20 more horsepower, apparently. That all the drivers will tell you that. And the man that he's trying to get the attention of to try and make a mistake is second place Anthony Imperato.
But the guy who sees that in his mirrors thinking, he's sapping power off his car by flashing his lights at me.
Not as bad as it used to be, Jeremy, with LED lights, I think, in the quest for lightness. The Imperator car then goes across the line, and here comes Roman DeAngelis. In the Masters category, Metni and Levitas are in 7th and 8th position overall. And there's 2 seconds between them. Yes. Charlie, look, the man who's got to make the move, and it's Jonathan Siegelman that he's got to catch first in the leading Gold Cup car. Now, in theory, Charlie, look at the 45, has got a quicker car, but Jonathan's been driving so well this weekend in that champion livery car that I'm not sure it's going to be that easy to A, get up to him, and B, have any chance of getting around him.
No, and Alan Metni, gosh, he looks so assured in the lead now. He's edged away.
You know you've cursed him now, don't you?
Well, yeah, I've done that before this season, unfortunately. But tell you what, it was a great drive yesterday. I mean, he was under intense pressure all the way through the race yesterday. First of all, from Siegelman, whom he let pass and edge away, and then just concentrate on keeping Michael Levitas behind him, which he did masterfully. Today, though, this morning, he's edging away from Michael Levitas. And for a guy of Levitas' experience in these cars, very stout effort.
It's a great run from Victor Gomez, who's already caught Mark Kavame in the similar base-coloured car, that's very light sky blue. Not exactly the same Pantones, those two, are they? The 43 holding, at the moment, 13th position overall, 11th in Platinum, and 4th in Platinum Masters, Mark Kavame, and Victor Gomez 3rd in the gold category, and he wants by. Already 3rd. I think he wants to be as high up the podium as possible, the highest step of the podium as possible. Down towards the late teens overall, and that one's not over yet, but good to see Bill Smith back after a very big incident earlier on in the weekend that meant he couldn't actually take the start of the first race here at Road Atlanta. No problems for Zach Robichon though, Jeremy. He's doing another Zach, isn't he?
Yeah, absolutely masterful. He's been lapping beautifully consistently too. Each of the last half dozen laps within 1/10 of a second or so. Lost just a couple of tenths on that last lap when he saw the number 47 car peeling off into the pit lane ahead of him. That car several laps down, now coming back to the pits. But it's been another just perfect performance from Zachary Robichon. He lost the lead yesterday but gained it back today. He's led from the front every inch of the way thus far.
Yeah, made it a little bit hard for himself yesterday.
Yeah, he did, but more fun probably that way. But he's still there now with 15 minutes remaining.
Into the last third of the race at Road Atlanta. Good battle for second. Just building up, Jeremy. Rightly, as you say there, they come past us. Imperator being caught by DeAngelis, and Trenton and Estep not out of that either. That's the 91, the 1 and the 3. Further back down the field, the 73 is Wayne Ducote, and he's just gone past the 69 Platinum car. That's the Hardy car that he's just gone by. That was for position 20. Check that, 21, my apologies. But the real battle right now is at the business end of the field, where Anthony Imperator in the 91 has just gone round turn number 5, now heading over the brow, down into the exceedingly quick right-hander at turn 6. There's a little bit of banking there. And right behind him, Roman DeAngelis. This is a cracking run for Kelly Moss Road and Race driver Roman DeAngelis. He's now getting the advantage of the hole in the air that's been punched by that 91 car. Which way will he go? He really needs to go to driver's left. He fades to the right, comes back to the left. Will he go back to the right-hand side again? He's got a really good run. Big defensive move by Imperator, but I don't think he can hold that car back. In the background, the number 3 Hertz car is having a look as well. That's Trenton Estep, and these three are slowing each other up. And David Coltman's only a couple of seconds further back. Oh, side by side down the hill, through the final corner. Are you having a laugh? Well, that's extraordinary. Actually, good driving, I think, by Imperator, who realised he'd made a mistake.
Yeah, and some sort of problem. I don't know what that was, but he lost some momentum at the top of the hill there, didn't he, somehow? And did very sensibly, didn't try and do it, slam the door shut or anything like that. But the other guy clearly has momentum on. What that was, not hard to say, because he seems to come
out to 10 or something like that.
Was it? Yeah. I mean,
it was odd.
You'd almost think it was one of the things like he missed a gear, but you can't really do that on these cars anymore. So it wasn't that.
Paddle shift, gearboxes, of course, development of the Porsche PDK, the double clutch mechanism that debuted in race cars many years ago in endurance racing, and Porsche have been one of the real technological innovators as far as race cars and their street cars, and the technology still going backwards and forwards. Their all-electric Taycan coming out shortly for Porsche. An electric Porsche? Yeah, it can't be a Porsche though, can it? Trust me, it will be. Their hybrid technology lifted straight from the Le Mans winning 919 hybrid, and put together with some of their V8 engines, can give almost 700 horsepower and over 30 miles to the US gallon. So what happened then? Down at the bottom of the hill, the first little go was by Roman DeAngelis, and that put Imperato offline a little bit. As Jeremy said, he sort of comes out of the... Did he just not turn in at the right time? Comes out the chicane okay. The opportunist manoeuvre certainly taken by Trenton Estep there, who did a cracking job and thought, if I can get right on the tail here of Roman, I'm through.
I am the trusty co-pilot. The moving part that moves all 2,000 parts. I am the translator who interprets the road. The permission to take the scenic route, and the guide that gets you there safely. I'm not just any tire. I am a Yokohama.
The all-new IMSA app, whether at home or trackside. Get behind the scenes with team and driver access all the time. It's the ultimate in fan experience. Choose your favorite manufacturer and strap in for the ride. With live scoring data, radio commentary, and session results in real time, it's just like you're there in Winner's Circle. The all-new IMSA app. Download it today.
Second place car of Roman DeAngelis. They're on that long sweeping back straight now, over the first brow, now to the second. Imperato not able to stay with them at the moment, and now it's DeAngelis who will have to defend, and does so, goes to the middle of the road, trying to make Estep go around the long way. That's a very, very difficult thing to do, but can he get back on the racing line? And here comes Imperato. He sees the two in front strapping. They're slowing each other down. They're not on the ideal racing line. Maybe he can take advantage. He gets a very good run. The third of those three cars battling for third position out of the final corner. Not quite close enough to Estep. Behind them it is David Kolkman, who's picking his way through traffic past the Tom Kerr car, and he now can see this battle, and that's a podium position ahead of David Kolkman. If he can get on the tail of these guys in that Park Place Porsche, the 71 car, he could be on the last podium of the season.
Big lock-up there, I think, for turn 3 there for the #1 car of Roman DeAngelis, but Trenton Estep not quite able to take advantage of that. Estep, of course, the championship's locked up now, so he can just go for it. He'll certainly be, at the very least, want to be on the podium, which he is right now, but he'd love to get second place as well and beat his long-time rival Trenton Estep, and Roman DeAngelis, I should say, because those two, they're both teenagers. They've raced against each other in Porsches for the last 2 years. Last year, DeAngelis was in the Gold Cup category, so they weren't really racing against each other head-to-head, but this year they are both in the Platinum class. Before that, they raced together in F1600 north of the border in Canada.
As this battle goes on, as we're under 10 minutes to go here at Road Atlanta. Meanwhile, in another part of Georgia, Zachary Robichon is nearly 8 seconds further round the Road Atlanta circuit. And he's looking to make it 18 confirmed wins for the year as the battle continues for second place. Under 10 minutes to go in the Porsche GT3 Cup Challenge USA by Yokohama 2018 season. As the clock is ticking down on 2018 as far as Porsche racing is concerned, Jonathan Siegelman in 9th still holds the Gold Cup category lead. Charlie Luck and David Baker are beginning to scrap for 3rd and 4th in Platinum Masters, but at the moment Alan Metney, who's in 7th overall in that 99 car, the iFly car, well, he's got 2.8 seconds on Levitas, and that would give him the Masters Championship in the last race of the season. David Ducote, 2nd in the multi-coloured #6 car. in the GT3 Gold Cup. He's made a bit of a habit, Jeremy, of coming out here at Road Atlanta and picking his races where he knows he's good. He got it among the championship contenders last year. He's doing it again this year.
Yeah, I mean, the car, he drives as well as it looks. So it's a great looking car with those multicolored streaks, not only even stripes, just streaks on the car. Looks fabulous. And David driving it really well. His first race of the season is this weekend, and looking to come away with a couple of podiums in the Gold Cup category.
It's been a fabulous season. The sights and the sounds, particularly the sounds of the flat sixes. Zachary Robichon stamps his authority on this second half of the IMSA Porsche GT3 Cup Challenge USA by Yokohama. He decimated the opposition north of the border in taking 11 of 12 races, and the championship at a canter, coming in partway through this year to more speed, and has done exactly the same to a quality field of platinum cars in this new Gen 2 car. Charlie, look, still fighting his way through, but in the Gold Cup category, as far as the season is concerned, Victor Gomez now on the podium in that blue and bright red number 25. Gold Cup category leader, champion-elect. Not sure he's going to be able to catch David Ducote. He's got past Mark Kavame a couple of laps ago, and round has gone Kurt Fasikis. Kurt Fasikis is in the gravel now with 6 minutes 30 left. This could throw a real spanner in the works for everyone. Can he get the car out? Oh, great driving by Fasikis, not spinning the back wheels. Just a little bit of wheel spin from the Yokohamas as he gets back onto the track. That actually was really good driving at turn 5, to have spun around there and not to have dug that car in. Well, he maybe had the luck of the dice there as he hit the curb on the way into turn 5. There's a nasty bump there. You really should be all the way to the left-hand side, running, excuse me, all the way to the right-hand side, running up the right-hand curb to where the curb straightens and then turns in. If you do that, you miss the bump. If you come from the middle of the road, the bump likely to unsettle the car, which is exactly what happened there. He took too much curb on the inside too early. The leader's gone by him. He's going to lap down now, but Fasikis lives to race the last 5.5 minutes of the season, so far at least. And everyone breathes a sigh of relief, not least, I'm sure, Zachary Robichon. Wayne Ducote in the car that looks like an advertisement for a 1980s clothing brand, who also supported Formula One. You remember the Benettons? With Paul Smith as well, perhaps, if we're going to continue the fashion icon theme for that car. So you look at some of the cars that run that Flovis paint to see where the aero's going. Looks like multicoloured that has been through. I love that. Yeah, that's fantastic. Great, Not sure it would work on your street car, but at least you'd know where you'd left it in the car park, wouldn't you?
Yeah, you're not going to confuse it with anybody else's, that is for certain.
Oh yes, I'm sorry, I walked to the wrong car. What? Wayne Ducote, another great supporter of this type of racing, along with David. Another family outing. David, by the way, in that 6 car. A little bit further up the field than Wayne. Wayne's down in 9th position in GT3 Gold, and David up in 2nd, with Victor Gomez still a couple of seconds behind when last we looked. There is Victor Gomez coming out onto the back straight again. 3.5 minutes left. He'll be picking up the trophy later on today. No championship here for Zachary Robichon, but the start of something very, very special for this young man, I've no doubt. He's done everything to get himself onto the radar, in the shop window. Call it what you will. If this is a job interview in the last half of the IMSA Porsche GT3 Cup Challenge USA by Yokohama 2018 season, then he's ticked all the boxes. He's got a strong curriculum vitae now. His resume improving race by race, and he's on his way to 18 Porsche victories in GT3 Cup cars in the 2018 season in North America, and he is undoubtedly having people looking at him. Eduardo de Leon just coming through. He's just gone a lap down in the 12 car. He's sitting 7th in GT3 Gold. That's the pace of Zachary Robichon, by the way, lapping through the field. 2.5 minutes to go. It'll be this one and one more for Zachary Robichon. What a season for Zachary. Called in from north of the border to Moore Speed. The Continental Automotive Group, the CAG sponsorship on that car, and the man from Ottawa, Ontario, has shaken the pot up, Jeremy. There's no doubt about that in the second half of the season.
Well, he really has. I mean, Will Hardeman showed how fast this car was earlier in the season. Will, another guy with minimal racing experience, he just came in pretty much last couple of years, I suppose. But he won one race earlier this year, but then he was all sorts of different commitments kept him away from the racing. So that opened the door for somebody else to take up that car. And that's what Zachary Robichon has done. He answered the call in absolutely sensational style.
Yeah, and kudos to Moore Speed as well for recognising the talent of the young Canadian and making that phone call. Moore Speed, one of the teams that run multiple cars in this championship, all
have done,
yes, in the past. And they're stylised M above the wheel arches on the fenders there. Always interesting to watch. The white flag is out for the leader, but behind him, oh, spin from Ducote. David Ducote, that's a very, very unusual mistake from him coming out of 5. He was under pressure by Victor Gomez. Now, what does that do? He gets him into 2nd position in gold. Now, can David Ducote get that car going? Just unloaded the car through turn 5 and spins to driver's left. I'm not sure he's hit anything too hard. He's found A gear. Unfortunately, it's reverse. Now he needs to get it back into a forward gear. He has done. He has forward movement, and he will rejoin. And David Ducote in that beautiful livery, he will be cursing underneath the visor. Now, did he just take too much curb coming in? No, he didn't. There's a bit of gravel there. Oh, hit the curb on the outside of turn 5, and that's quite a high rumble strip there. And may just have been on the power when he did that. Unloaded the car and threw it onto the inside of the corner. Yeah. Under a mile to go, Jeremy, for Zachary Robichon. Yeah, the superlatives have run out some time ago for this young man.
You're absolutely right there. Been absolutely sensational. Hasn't put a wheel wrong all weekend long. Had to come from behind yesterday, but no such story today. He's been led it from the front.
Well, a bit of showboating coming out of the final chicane for the final lap of the season. 19 car, and he's got 19 checkered flags this year. Only 18 of them will be on his record after losing one in post-race tech, but 18 Porsche victories for young Zachary Robichon, and coming through on the podium in 3rd position, our 2018 Porsche GT3 Cup Challenge USA by Yokohama champion is Trenton Estep for JDX Racing. And that's a great run for that team and that young driver as well. He'll hope that that trophy that he takes home later on today will catapult him up the driver standings in the ranks. In Gold Cup category, what an emotional run to the checkered flag for Jonathan Siegelman and anyone who knew Dave Mirage and Champion Racing, because it's another victory. That's 2 for Jonathan Siegelman this weekend, running in those evocative colours. Fair play to Jonathan for that this weekend, and coming up with that colour scheme. He's from Delray Beach in Florida, and of course Champion Racing based at Pompano Beach in the same state. In Masters, Alan Metney has come through. He's taken the checkered flag in the number 99, and that means he will win the Masters Platinum Championship. And as far as the Gold Championship for 2018, that is going to be Victor Gomez, who is on the podium on the 2nd step this weekend in the mainly blue car. There's going to be a lot of very happy drivers on podiums after this one.
I am the trusty co-pilot, the moving part that moves all 2,000 parts. I am the translator who interprets the road, the permission to take the scenic route, and the guide that gets you there safely. I'm not just any tire. I am a Yokohama.
The all-new IMSA app, whether at home or trackside. Get behind the scenes with team and driver access all the time. It's the ultimate in fan experience. Choose your favorite manufacturer and strap in for the ride. With live scoring data, radio commentary, and session results in real time, it's just like you're there in Winner's Circle. The all-new IMSA app. Download it today.
Well, that's a great race to end what's been a highly competitive and entertaining season of motor racing for the IMSA Porsche GT3 Cup Challenge USA by Yokohama in 2018. Zachary Robichon's had an extraordinary year and stands atop the podium again, joined by Roman DeAngelis and our series champion for Platinum, Trenton Estep. Jonathan Siegelman makes it a double here at Road Atlanta in gold. Our series champion there, Victor Gomez, and Rob Furriel also on the podium. We'll hear from Jonathan Siegelman in a moment, but let's get down into the pit lane, and Zachary Robichon is ready to talk to us.
Yeah, it was a fantastic race. You know, right from the beginning, you know, just directly coming out of the P3 car, I knew the best way to just get my head in the right mode was just to push from the start, and we were able to just, you know, be clean, and a couple of mistakes on the way. Not gonna say it was faultless, but the car was really good. We improved the car every session this weekend, you know. So the more speed guys listened, and we came home with a, you know, fantastic weekend once again.
It was pretty crazy in the start. I knew that it was the last race of the season. Everybody was going to go for it. It was, you know, win it or lose it, and I tried to stay as clean as possible and out of the mess. There was a little bit of an incident down in 10, and then I saw, I don't know who it was that went off at turn 1, but I'm glad that we had some green flag racing after that. You know, just stayed consistent with the car and tried to manage the tires as best as I could, and I'll go home and win.
The end of season accolades in gold, well, they all belong to Victor Gomez. Fully 57 ahead of Rob Furriel in second. Kurt Fazekas a distant third, with everyone else from Bill Smith down merely bit part players. But they've all had some fun this year. In Platinum, Trenton Estep by 25 from Roman DeAngelis, David Kolkman in third position. Let's hear from our series champions.
You know, I wish I had the words to describe the feeling I feel right now. Me, my team, my family, we worked so hard to be here. For it to pay off just means the world. I mean, like I said, we worked so hard all throughout the season to stay clean, finish at the top and score good points, and it paid off at the end of the year. I couldn't be happier.
No, it feels amazing. It's something really special for me, especially for my family, for Puerto Rico, who has been supporting me since day one. I know I won the last race, and I won it for me, but I won this race for NGT because we're also battling for the team championship, and I know I had to get some good points to get up there, and I think we also clinched it. So to get the driver championship and to get the team championship is something special. I couldn't be happier. Today I poured my heart out. I know I had to pass the Cody because last season I couldn't pass him and I got second by 2 points, so I know this was a little bit of payback for him. So good racing, couldn't be happier.
2018 is the 70th anniversary of the first Porsche rolling out onto the street and into competition. The teams and drivers of the IMSA Porsche GT3 Cup Challenge USA by Yokohama have done the brand proud. I'm John Hindhaugh. Jeremy Shaw has been alongside me for all of the season's action. We've had entertainment and excitement aplenty, all brought to you by the hard work of our production team here at the track and back at base. And of course, we couldn't go motor racing without the dedication of our volunteer marshals and officials. If you can't get to your local track and see racing live, make sure you join us for more of the same in 2019.
This copyrighted telecast may not be reproduced, retransmitted, or used in any form without the authorized written consent of the International Motorsports Association. We would like to thank all of our loyal fans for your continued support, and we hope you enjoyed today's broadcast.